Hey everybody, this is my 125 gallon native tank, and it's the end of the winter. It's actually going to be spring here in the next few days, and I've lost almost all my crayfish over the course of the winter. And of course, being winter, I can't go out and collect any more. They hibernate in the cold weather. But over the last day or two, I've actually seen a little bit of activity with the crayfish. One of them has unfortunately died on me. I was only certain of there being 2 left in the tank. There may be more, but I was only sure of there being 2. And one of those has since died. So now we're down to apparently this one. And I've not seen much of it out and about. They used to come out and crawl around the tank like this all the time. They didn't just hide. Maybe the seasonal shift has something to do with timing as much as it does to do with temperature, and maybe they've just all been sort of doing the equivalent of hibernating, and now they're actually starting to come out and become more active. Because I've been scratching my head about that for a while now. It shouldn't matter that there's only a few of them in the tank. It's not like they were out and about and crawling around because there was lots of them, and then as the numbers dwindled, I suddenly didn't see them anymore because they were all hiding all the time. It doesn't make any sense. If there's one in the tank, it should just be out crawling around, foraging for food, and just doing its thing. They're very active animals, day or night. So why I haven't seen any in the last month or two has been a bit of a head scratcher. I chalked it up to just they've been hiding because of aggressive behavior in the tank from other animals or whatever. I wasn't sure. But in the last couple days now, I've seen much more activity, and this is the second time this morning now that I've seen this one out crawling around. It was down at the other end of the tank a little while ago when I turned the lights on, and it was actually starting to eat the dead crayfish that's still in the tank. So definitely starting to see some more activity. I did mention earlier in that video that I shot of the turning the lights on when I first saw this crayfish this morning. I mentioned that one of my viewers up north of me, I believe he said he was in New Jersey, is already starting to see some crayfish activity. He apparently had a minnow trap out and wound up catching a crayfish in that yesterday. And if he's starting to see crayfish activity where he is up north, then perhaps it's time for me to start thinking about the crayfish are beginning to move again around here. And it's just got me thinking, is this why we're now beginning to see more activity with these crayfish? Is it a timing thing as much as it is a temperature thing? I always assumed it was a temperature thing. When the water started getting down to a certain temperature, it triggered the hibernation response. And then when the weather warmed up in the spring, the reverse happened and they came out of hibernation and got active again. But perhaps, in a sort of circadian rhythm kind of way, if you were in a room that the lights were on, at a certain point, you'd still start getting tired. It's not the fact that nighttime rolls on that makes you tired. It's not the darkness that's making you tired. Now, long periods of exposure to just full brightness all the time will definitely start messing with your biology and doing things to you. So that could have some sort of impact on these crayfish as well. Maybe it's just not the temperature alone, but the timing was causing them to go more dormant, yet they simultaneously stayed in warm water while they went dormant. So I'm not really sure what kind of an impact that might have on the animals or whether that's actually been affecting their behavior or not. But it's certainly interesting to think about, and it does seem awfully odd that I've just seen almost no activity at all. And the only activity I've seen over the last few months is this kind of activity. A crayfish would just sort of come out of hiding and it would just be curled up and sort of waggling its legs around for a day or two, and then eventually it would just sort of die. No explanation, no reason. I have no idea why they've done that, but I've lost about 5 crayfish like that in the last 2 or 3 months. So could that be something to do with they're trying to hibernate, so they're not eating as much as they did before, but the warmer water's keeping their metabolism up? And with the higher metabolism and the lack of food, could that be killing them? That's a thought. I don't know. Well, I'm beginning to think there might be more than one crayfish left in the tank. The way he just jerked back out of that cave, that could be an occupied cave. Well, this should prove to be interesting. If that cave is also occupied and we're seeing this one now becoming active again, perhaps we're going to start seeing some activity and I'm going to have some crayfish crawling out of the woodwork that I didn't know were even in here. I might have 3 or 4 left in this tank. Who knows? So it should be interesting to find out one way or the other. At any rate, make sure you're subscribed. That way you won't miss any of the fun stuff we got coming up, whether we go outdoors and go crayfishing or throw my trap out in the stream or what have you. That'll be coming up real soon. We'll get out and do that. And I've also got some plans to add some more of these beautiful rosy side dace with that red in there. I really, really want to catch some more of them and put them in this tank. So again, if you're subscribed, you won't miss that or anything else I've got coming up. So don't forget, this one's my 125-gallon native tank. Look forward to some more crayfish drama coming up. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you real soon in the next one.